wasn't but a month ago that Jon Jones retired from the sport. Everybody called him a duck, said he's refusing to fight Tom Aspinall. He retired through a voicemail at a random announcement from Dana White at the Baku fight card. He got no send-off video. He got no congratulations on your career. He just got erased immediately, and that was the end of it. And then all of a sudden, randomly, President Trump says, we're going to do a big fight at the White House. And now Jon Jones is unretired. He's back in the testing pool. He's unretired. He says he wants to fight on that card. So the question becomes, was Jon Jones actually retired, or was this just a way for him to get rid of the belt and the belt talk? Is Jon Jones actually back, or is he just saying things to be important because people stopped caring after a few weeks? What the hell is going on with Jon Jones? My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson. Here's a bad takes about Johnny Jones. What do you think his deal is? Do you think he actually legitimately retired, or was this like sort of a half-baked plan to remove himself from the belt so he can fight anybody and not Tom Aspinall?
I think it was a combination of both. I think he half-assed retired because I think the UFC put him in a position to say, hey, you can either retire or we can just strip you. And there was that position where he just didn't want to fight Tom, and he wanted to fight Tom when he was ready to do it, and they were waiting for an answer. They said, hey, we're going to pay you all this money. He threw a wild number out, and they said yes. And then he was like, wait, what? Okay.
Call his bluff.
Yeah. So that happened, and then when you get into that position where Jon wants to just do what he wants to do. I don't think he wants tough fights right now. I don't think he has any desire to fight someone that is going to be a tough fight for him. He's like, oh, I just need motivation. Now that the White House fight is available, I could see myself fighting there. Historic event, main event, this and that. The only way that I could see this happen is if you fought Tom Aspinall there, because it's the U.S. versus, the UK for the 4th of July.
Old school, old school sense. Revolutionary War.
But then Dana comes out and goes, yeah, I can't see myself doing that, only based on the fact you don't know. Like, I can't have any controversy surround that situation, especially at the White House. Somebody else even posted the other day going, 3/4 of the people that are asking to fight on the White House couldn't pass a background check.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with these guys, right? So there's a lot of smart, talented people in the UFC. But in this situation with Jon Jones, do you want to bring that? Even the Conor situation with the dick pic and the unsolicited dick stuff, like, come on. Now you're going to have him headline, a UFC card on the White House. Not a good look.
The White House card in general is kind of a weird situation because there may or may not be fans. Like, it's not completely baked. I am actually in camp. I don't think any of it's real. I think it's like a concept, and they mentioned it, and Dana's like, oh, Dana says a lot of shit that's just not true. He's like, we've got it all planned out. We know exactly what we're doing. I don't know if it's going to happen or not going to happen, but let's say it does happen. I don't know what direction you go. Do you just go with putting on a monster fight card and you have the backdrop of the White House on 4th of July and it's just this huge event for those reasons? Or do you have to class it up a little? It's the White House. Like, do we need not criminals in these fights? Should we lean on Americans? Or is it just like, who gives a shit? Let Islam headline it. I don't care that he's Russian and he's not American. It doesn't matter. This is a UFC fight. And, I don't know what direction you go. If you do lean into this is a fight card in the capital of America, then you got to lean America. Then, yeah, you kind of need Jon Jones, honestly. Who else is a bigger American draw than Jon Jones? And I know we talk about he's not a massive pay-per-view draw, but we have no American champions. He's the closest thing to one other than Kayla Harrison. They're not going to use women to headline that card. Oh, who else could it be?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I think they could potentially use a female to headline that card.
Her and Amanda is the only female fight that would be big enough.
Unless they brought back Chris Cyborg.
I mean, hasn't Cyborg lost like recently?
No. She beat Clarissa Pacheco, and then she fought some boxing matches. Like, I mean, realistically, that would be the only fight for Kayla Harrison. If she beats Amanda Nunes and she beats her and she dominates her, I think you have to have her fight Chris Cyborg in that fight. Well, and headlining it for women's power, Donald Trump being the president, like that to me is, and then look, you stack it with a good co-main and an undercard on that. And I honestly don't think if you do a fight there, you only do 5 or 6 fights. You
Oh,
don't do
I don't think it's a full card either.
you
Yeah,
don't do
yeah.
a full card there. It's a one off. It probably will never happen again, especially once he's out of office. I don't think it'll ever happen again. So you do 5 or 6 fights, come in, people can watch the action, whatever it is, and they bounce out.
It's a tricky, the theme, the concept is awesome. I'm a diehard fight fan through and through, so I love the idea of anything that makes a fight different and exciting. So I'm all for the event. It is a little challenging because in the current state of MMA is a melting pot of nations and skills and talents and abilities. We don't have a ton of monster superstar Americans. One of the ways you could go is the Kayla Harrison route. She's probably the most American fighter on the roster because she represented our country internationally at the Olympics. Henry Cejudo, same capacity, he can't headline. Or you go the BMF route. If the BMF belt isn't the most American thing in sports, right? It's the equivalent of NASCAR. Like, it's the most American thing. Oh, this guy will fight till he's stupid. BMF belt. Like, this is the baddest motherfucker. Max Holloway could headline this card. It's a full year away, which is a problem, but take it off. And then you get the USA versus England if Dan Hooker sits that long. Or the BMF belt might not be with Max or anybody else, but the BMF belt might be a perfect representation of America on America's birthday. That's what this event is.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. And you are 100% correct. Like, we are the baddest motherfucker in the world, this country, and you have the baddest motherfucker in the world right there about to fight. And so I think that'd be a damn good matchup. And who do you put there? I mean, Max could headline it, but I would put Kayla ahead of Max if that was going to happen.
Well, a real belt, I think, has to. They have their own rules, the heaviest weight class, whatever. I think the real belt trumps BMF.
Absolutely. But then if you were to have Max as the co-main or whatever, if it depends on who. Look, in a year's time, so much is going to happen. In a year's time, by the time you get to the 4th of July next year, I mean, some of these fighters may just try not to fight so they can hold on to their belt to potentially be the headliner on there. The Jon Jones and the Tom Aspinall fight, because the UK versus the US, that kind of makes sense. But I'm just being honest. It's not going to do great. It's not going to do great numbers. And let's be honest. Why are they doing this? And you're saying, do you think it's going to happen?
I don't think so. And I forgot that this topic was Jon Jones, and we just kept talking about that White House. But no, I don't think it'll happen. Or it'll be a million times smaller than they're talking about it being. How the hell do you do it? How the hell do you do it?
I think it's going to be 5-6 fights, and that's it. I think that's.
But where's the locker room? Where's the bathroom? There's no arena. It's just a cage outside, like a local Louisiana show.
Cage outside, over an overhang. They'll set it all up. I mean, come on, they're going to make this work. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You have a president who actually likes you, and as you guys,
it'll never
happen again. And this is the thing that makes me realize that it was potentially going to happen. Is that you're either using this as a really good negotiation tool for your new Netflix contract or your Amazon contract or YouTube contract, whatever it is. It's going to happen. It's going to be in there like, hey, we're talking with the president about having this one-off event. I mean, this is going to catapult whoever. They're going to have it for sure. It's going to probably be Netflix, or it's going to probably be, I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe it was Facebook.
You mentioned YouTube. YouTube would be an awesome platform. Anything, I'm fine with anything free that's available on every device everywhere.
Yep.
And then just charge 5 times as much to sponsors. Done.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get rid of that pay-per-view platform type situation. You'll pay a monthly fee of say $40 a month for Netflix probably, and then that includes all your fights. So I could see that happening. I could really see all that happening. So I think the Jon Jones situation it's gone. People don't care. I don't care. And I know I don't like Jon. Not that I don't like him. I'm not a fan, man. I'm not a fan. So I think the casual everyday fans like, oh man, Jon, like again, like are we hearing this thing again? In a year's time, he's going to be even more forgotten about. I said this a long time ago, and I'll continue to say it. It doesn't matter how great you are in any sport. As soon as GSP won the middleweight title and then he vacated it and left it, people stop talking about GSP. He keeps himself relevant because he's such a great guy. Jon is not that guy. Once you're just people don't like you, they forget about you even faster. That's one. Two is the only time they remember you is when you get in more trouble, which you seem to do. So the Jon Jones situation is done. No one wants to see him fight again. There are gonna be some hardcore fans in there. You can talk about how great he was, but the bottom line is he ran too many people ragged. No one cares, and they want to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Obviously, it was a bizarre chain of events with the random retirement. One of the piece of shit or not, one of the best to ever do it. Random retirement with no meaningful. Not the next event didn't even have a Jon Jones montage. They didn't give a shit. Karate Hottie got a better send off, and I'm not saying that insultingly to her. Like the UFC put more time and effort to send somebody off that had never been a champion than the greatest that they've ever had. So that was a weird situation. Then he is now magically coming back. I'm in the testing pool. I'm coming back. My opinion is that it was all to get rid of the belt. Obviously, when you retire, the belt is gone. They announced Tom Aspinall is the unified heavyweight champion. There is no interim anymore. He's the champ. So with no belt dictating who Jon can and cannot fight, now he can play his games and decide who he wants to fight and who he doesn't want to fight. And the UFC doesn't have to do mental gymnastics to justify why Jon Jones is fighting a 58-year-old when we have a young actual champion waiting on the side. So I think that was just a big to-do to get rid of the belt. Who Jon Jones fights next, I have no idea, but it's not going to be Tom Aspinall. It's definitely not going to be, because if Tom Aspinall beats Cyril Gane, that just makes it even worse for Jon, I think, honestly.
Do you have him fight Alex Pereira, though, back down at 205? Or do they both just fight at heavyweight for a fight?
I don't think it'll be at 205 because I think Jon's just too big now. It's been, 4 years at heavyweight? Like he's getting older. I think he's quite literally
Alex
just too big.
242, whatever.
Exactly. And Alex just stood on a scale. And not only was he whatever the hell, he is filled out. Like he didn't jiggle. So it's like, damn, dude, you're just huge.
Doesn't jiggle like you.
No, it actually makes no freaking sense. I think he's taller than me too. Isn't he like 6'4"?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy how big Alex Pereira is. But I would love Jon Jones for Alex Pereira. And then if we get that, then great. I'm glad the fake retirement thing got rid of the belt, because that does sort of free you of the shackles of you have to fight the number one contender. You can just fight anybody with no belt. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a fight. That's a big fight to make with no pressure for it to be for a title. Him and Alex Pereira. It won't be the main event. I don't think it will be. It'll probably be the co-main event because you have to have whoever a U.S. champion is, which would be maybe Kayla Harrison if she beats Amanda. And the only other fight that I think that would be big enough to headline that would be if Kayla Harrison beats Amanda, then she fights Chris Cyborg.
Could be, yeah.
Unless there's another American champion between now and then.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the divisions, there's not a lot of options for an American champion to a male American champion to make it happen. But yeah, the Jon Jones situation is crazy, because you don't know who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. You don't know if Jon is serious about anything. You really can't trust anything he says. The UFC, you can't trust a lot that Dana says, and not because he's a liar covering up car accidents, but because he is still a marketing machine, and everything out of his mouth is said on purpose for the reason of furthering his agenda and gaining interest and things like that. So I don't know where we are with the Jon Jones situation, but if he is truly unretired, I do love the Alex Pereira matchup. I don't want to wait till next year. It's too early to be talking about the White House card.
Yeah,
it's a full 12 months away, and that's why it's like who any names we say now are stupid. It's a full 12 months away.
Well, I'm going to look ahead a little bit. I'm going to say this: at 155, if Max beats Ilia Topuria, you have Max fight. That's it. Like he's the only guy, only male that I think is close enough to win a title that people be like tuning in for that fight.
Yeah.
So especially after if he beats Ilya and is able to put him away or just beats him, period, and takes his O, that's huge. Huge. And then maybe you run it as a rematch on that card that night. So they fight sometime around December, and then they fight again in July. If you get the win.
There's definitely a lot of plots that could just and the UFC does a good job of just inventing plot lines. Anytime somebody wants to sit down and say the UFC has no superstars and UFC sucks now, out of nowhere, there's a brand new plot line and a matchup that everybody's excited for. So anything could happen between now and a year from now.
Justin Gaethje is supposed to be fighting for that title. They're talking, he might be next. You never know.
Crazy. Yeah. If I could pick my Jon Jones next steps, I would say let's get him unretired and let's have him fight Alex Pereira. Just make it a monster fight card this year. I mean, both of them could fight in a month and be totally fine, I assume. So have him fight this year. I'm not even worried about the White House yet. Let's just see what the fallout is of all these things. If Jon beats Alex Pereira, maybe he has earned enough good graces with the UFC to headline a monster card like the White House card. But yeah, I think if we're taking Jon Jones at his word that he's in the testing pool, he's unretired. First of all, if you leave, I'm no rule expert. This is a Big John thing. If you retire for 8.5 minutes and then you unretire 8.5 minutes later, do you still have to do the 6-month testing pool? No, you were getting tested that whole time. Like, I mean, there's just the 8-minute window where you weren't getting tested. Like,
and cocaine's not out of camp, so, and it's in and out of your system in 3 or 4 days. So I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Do you care about Jon Jones, or like I know you did your whole rant, but if they did a whole Jon Jones is back, you care?
No, I don't.
They announce a Jon Jones headliner, and you're like,
I don't
buy.
I don't care. Like the Alex Pereira fight actually is. It's just one of those fights. He's going to take him down and control him. And he's looking for the easier fights. Now, sure, that's a big name fight. You're fighting a big name guy who's was carrying the UFC for the last 2 years, and he's very marketable and loves to fight. John's trying to find the easiest fights he can get right now. He wants the guys he can take down. Cyril Gane, 42-year-old Stipe. He's waiting for those fights. He wants the Alex fight. People thought he was just talking trash to Tom Aspinall. I'll just fight Alex. No. He wants to fight. He did it because he brought up Alex because he's like, oh, that's the guy that I want to fight. If we can make that happen, I can get the easy win and collect the easy check. And he doesn't want to train anymore. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He's done. Like he's going to move on. Maybe he wants to come back in and do this and do that, collect another check, all of those things, but it's just not there. I have no desire to watch him fight because I can tell the motivation's not in his eyes. He wants to fight. He wants the easiest fights. Right around the time USADA came in, he started having shitty performances. Santos,
Dominic
Reyes. Like he started having kind of lackluster performances when USADA came in. And remember, he was so dominant before that.
Yeah.
And
because people thought he lost the first matchup with who's the giant? Gustafsson. Yeah. But yeah, I know, I hear you. I mean, I am excited. I would be excited for a Jon Jones fight. Is he a trash human? Yeah, of course. So's Conor. Arguably, Conor's actually somehow not as bad of a person as Jon Jones. But I would be excited for a Jon Jones fight, and part of it is because he physically looks fantastic. Like any pictures he's put, like he did not look very physically good when he fought Cyril Gane. Like he did look a little soft at heavyweight, but then at Stipe he looked a lot better. And now any pictures he's posting, he looks like a big filled out heavyweight. Like he looks good. So I hope
been out of the testing pool for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. That 8.5 minutes, you get a lot in your system. I am hoping. I genuinely want Jon Jones to come back, and I want him to beat the shit out of a bunch of people. I'm rooting for Jon, not against him. I want it to be so undeniable that this guy's the best that's ever done it that it's crazy. Unless he fights Alex. And if I really was doing a dream journal, it would be Alex knocking out Jon Jones to be a 3-division champ. Yes. That 3rd division is off the table right now.
Yeah, so. That's true. It's all gone now. I mean, do you bring a BMF title for the heavyweight division?
Jon isn't a BMF. Alex is. Jon is.
I got
Jon is 2-point fighting. What wars is he in? You know what I mean? It's like let me kick your knee from a mile away.
Yeah, the Gus fight. I mean, the Reyes fight, it was a little bit of a war, but he was able to still kind of maintain it. The Gus fight was probably the only time I ever seen him in a dog fight.
It's the only time he's ever been taken down, too.
Yeah, when he was second guessing his life choices.
Yeah.
I should have done cocaine all last week.
Yeah, actively on cocaine for that fight.
Fucking lined up some rails and fucking good. He's just like, All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our Jon Jones talk. And, man, Angelo, Josh Thompson, hope you guys enjoy the show. Bad takes.